So in the last 48 hours, tensions between Zelensky and Trump have erupted into full view once again as the two leaders have clashed openly over the future of Ukraine and the role of U.S. leadership. Zelensky issued a pointed message yesterday calling on Trump to back Ukraine's fight against a historical enemy of the United States, which is Russia, and reaffirming the strategic importance of U.S. support, especially regarding Crimea. His post, which was shared widely on X, warned that any U.S. withdrawal from peace negotiations would usher in a dangerous new phase of the war and insisted that concessions to Russia without firm security guarantees would be unacceptable. Trump responded today with a barrage of posts criticizing Zelensky, accusing him of, quote, making inflammatory statements and turning Ukraine into, quote, a killing field by refusing to concede territory, especially Crimea. Trump went further, suggesting that Zelensky's stance could cost Ukraine the entire country, and even claimed that Zelensky was more difficult to deal with than Vladimir Putin. These comments revealed Trump's clear preference for a swift, transactional end to the war, one that sacrifices Ukrainian sovereignty in the name of expediency. But Trump is dead wrong. His argument not only distorts the origins of this war, but it reinforces Kremlin propaganda, undermines international law, and damages U.S. credibility as a global leader. The facts are incredibly straightforward here. Russia launched this war, not Ukraine. The conflict began with Putin illegally annexing Crimea in 2014, and it escalated into a full-scale invasion in 2022. There was no NATO threat to Russia. Ukraine's military was a defensive military. Claims of neo-Nazism and discrimination against Russian speakers have been debunked repeatedly, including by the International Court of Justice. Trump's portrayal of Ukraine as the provocateur inverts reality and ignores the more than 58,000 Ukrainian soldiers and civilians that have been killed due to Russia's war of aggression. Trump's demand that Ukraine give up Crimea and other territories as a condition for peace is equally reckless. It violates the Budapest Memorandum, in which Russia, the US, and others guaranteed Ukraine territorial integrity in exchange for giving up nuclear weapons. By pushing for concessions, Trump is rewarding Putin's aggression and signaling to authoritarian regimes that borders can be changed by force. 75% of Ukrainians reject this idea and demand the return of occupied lands. Zelensky is not being obstinate. He is reflecting the will of his people and the basic principle of self-determination. Trump's stance also isolates the U.S. at a critical moment. Praising Putin while casting Zelensky as an obstacle undermines NATO cohesion and the international coalition backing Ukraine. It sends the wrong message to both allies and adversaries alike, that American support for democracy is negotiable. Trump's envoys' meetings with Putin only reinforce fears that he is tilting towards Moscow and not towards an actual real peace here. Worse still, his push for a rushed deal sidelines justice. Ending investigations into Russian war crimes, as some in his orbit have suggested, would be a moral failure. He's also just flat out ignoring the fact that Russia continues to violate ceasefire after ceasefire and is dragging their feet. All of this signals to despots worldwide that power protects any kind of perpetrator that is committing war crimes. The world is watching right now. If Trump has his way, he won't just betray Ukraine, he'll gut the very rules that keep the international order intact.